Hello everybody, Professor Scott here, and I wanted to create this short video to show you how you should set up your module assignment. You're going to be using Microsoft Word, and I don't care if you use a newer version, the 2016 version. Sometimes they call it Office 365. They've just repackaged it slightly differently, but it's the 2016 version. Or if you're using an older version, that's fine too. It'll probably work all the way back to 2007. I'm not sure if a 2003 version will work, but 2007, 10, 13, definitely the newer versions will work. If you have a Mac computer and you have Office for Word on there, or Word for Office, I forget, I always get that backwards. You can use Mac too, but please note that since our school has PCs, the instructions will be for PC users. So if you're a Mac user, you're just going to have to figure out some of the stuff on your own because things are in a slightly different position. Yes, is it frustrating that they do that? They don't put them in the same spot? It sure is, but you'll have to do that on your own. Okay, a couple tips about how to do your assignment here. You're going to be placing each task onto a separate page. For instance, the first page is going to have you use the snipping tool. There'll be more about that in the folder for each task. It'll explain exactly what you need to do. But a quick little summary, you're going to need to post the picture, the image of the screen right here. Could be a screenshot from anywhere on the internet. And then what you're going to do is go down to page 2. Let me go back here. This is page 2. Task 2. I want you to label each page so I know exactly what you're doing. It is using files and folders. And you'll be placing an image of some files and folders that you create here, and so on. You're going to do that for each of the tasks in here. But I want to explain something that you may not know. So I'm going to go up here. In task 1, I'm going to ask you to insert a picture. Now notice how task 1 is up here at the top, and if I go down to page 2, task 2 starts at the top. But if I try to insert a picture here, let's see, let me find one. Okay, let's say it's this image right here. It could be any image. That's completely fine. That's actually all you're going to need to do for task 1, and you can read more about exactly what I'm looking for in the folder. But watch this. If I scroll down here, notice how it pushes everything down. Has this ever happened to you? It happens to most novice Word users. That's because you don't have what's called a page break in between the pages. A page break separates the pages and it doesn't allow everything below it to get pushed. So let me do this again, but with page breaks. In fact, we're going to go up here. I'm going to hit the enter button a couple times. And before I go any further, the other thing that you should be aware of is something called the show hide button. It's on the home tab. It looks like a backwards P. It's called a pilgrawl. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that 100% right. I've said it a million times. Maybe I'm pronouncing it slightly wrong. I think it means paragraph in French or Latin. But anyway, if you click it, it shows you all the hidden code behind Word. And you can click this off and click it on. These don't print, but they show up when you turn this on. It allows you to see things like page breaks. Every time you hit enter, it'll put a backwards P, the pilgrawl, on here. So you know where you are. Have you ever been somewhere and you're not sure how many times you hit enter? You don't know where the end is? Well, if you click on the show hide characters right here, it'll show you. Well, one thing that I suggest you do is set up your document ahead of time. And the way you do that is start off the first line here, say the snipping tool, give it a few spaces, hit the enter button several times, and then go up here to insert, click insert and page break. Should be on the left hand side somewhere. And I'm going to scroll back up and you can see it says page break right here. What that means is everything above it will stay on page 1 and anything below it will be moved onto the next page. So now let me turn these off, just pretend like they're not there. Now let's say I want to insert page 2 Let me head down here. Sorry about that. I'll head down here, insert task 2, page 2. Folders. I come back here above the page break. This is where I want to insert the picture. And watch what happens, or actually watch what doesn't happen. It inserts the picture just fine. But now task 2 is on the top of the page. So what you can do for this assignment is go ahead, set up your, there's going to be at least 10 tasks. In the future, I may add some more tasks, so see how many folders there are. But I'd hit the enter button 3 or 4 times, insert a page break, and then call it task 3, and then whatever task 3 is. You'll have to find out the name. Hit it several times, insert a page break, task 4, whatever the name of that is, get right out down a little description. And then you can go through, and now as you add things on each particular page, it won't push everything down below it. This is how you're going to set up your document. This is one of those little secrets that people who really understand Word, they know about the show hide button, and this helps them figure out where things are. And they also use the page break to break things. You can also use something called section breaks. That can work too, but for our purposes here, a page break works just fine. So this is what I'm going to be looking for as you set up your assignment here. The very last thing I want you to do is up in the header, I want you to click in the heading area. You can either double click up there, or I'm going to exit out of here. Or if you go up to the insert button and you go over here, it says page number. There's about 3 or 4 different ways to add page numbers. If you click on page number, it says top of page. One of the choices has the page number all the way over to the right. All you do is put your last name. Let's say my last name is Jones, and then hit the space bar 1 time. And what happens is I'm just going to click in the main body of it to lock that in place. It automatically puts the page number in the upper right hand portion of the screen and on each page. So what you don't want to do is type in Jones and then page 3 and then go to page 4 and manually type it in. If you use insert, page number, top of page, and then use the one it says plain number 3 pushed over to the right. You could actually use the other plain number ones that are pushed to the left or in the center, and then you could just move it over to the right. But it's just easier to pick the right hand one. Type in your last name, 1 space, and that leaves page numbers on all of the pages with your last name. So this is how I want you to set up your document for this assignment. Each page is a different task, separated by page breaks. And how will I know that? When I open up your document, I will click on the show hide button and I will see that there are page breaks below each task. So that's how you set it up. Now keep on reading the information in the folder and then head on off to task 1.